ladder. A razor knife or box cutter will come in handy, as will a hammer and chisel. We recommend an additional person to help you with this installation if you have a larger opening. Smart companies will provide you with a set of track, a rolling shutter, a housing, commonly called a hood, 5/16 tapcons, slat hangers, upstops, a universal, a handle, and track hole plugs. The purpose of this video is to give you basic installation knowledge. Step 1, measure the overall hood assembly. This will give you the outside of track to outside of track measurement. It is a good idea to place marks on the wall where your tracks will line up. Make a mark on the wall using your level where the end cap will go. Next, unscrew the universal and remove the front of the hood prior to installation. The hood assembly will come with a protective tape. Be sure to peel off the tape from the front and back of the housing before you install. Prior to installation, you will want to remove the reel. You can do this by first removing the saddle pin from the saddle bracket, as shown here. Place the back of the housing on the wall and line it up with the marks you made using your level. You can now fasten the back of the hood assembly to the wall. You will have pre-drilled holes in the 2x2 angle that is fastened to the hood every 18 inches. Drill into and fasten the hood to the wall. In most installations, you will use a 2 1/4 inch by 5/16 tapcon. Place the reel back into the hood in the same way that you took it out. It is important to remember to place the cotter pin back into the saddle bracket. The hood assembly has tabs that extend off both end caps. Insert those tabs into the track. Once you have a spot for your first track, drill your first hole. If you are attaching to masonry, use a 1/4 inch masonry bit. If you are attaching to wood, pre-drill the hole with a suitable 1/4 inch bit. Once your first hole is drilled, drive the first screw in. It is not necessary to tighten it all the way. Make sure the track is plumb and drill and drive in your second fastener. Again, it is not necessary to tighten this all the way. Having the fasteners loose will allow for slight adjustments once you are further into the installation. Once the first 2 fasteners are in place on your first track, repeat the steps on the opposite side, making sure the other side of the track is positioned, leveled, and plumbed properly. If your track comes with notches, with a hammer and chisel, bend the notches back so that the shutter will easily slide down into the track. You are now ready to drop the rolling shutter. Once the shutter has been taken out of the bubble wrap, put it into your arms as shown here and carefully guide it over the reel and into the track. Ease the shutter approximately halfway in so that several slats are left hanging. Remove the slat guides as shown here and place on the slat hangers. Once the slat hangers are on, guide the shutter the rest of the way into the track. Using supplied 1/4 inch self-tapping screws, drill the slat hangers onto the reel. It is important to make sure that the slat hangers are lined up evenly along the reel. Once you've attached the slat hangers, roll the shutter up and down to test it. Once you have tested the shutter and know that it operates properly, you can tighten the fasteners that you already have in the tracks. The next step will be to put on your upstops. Upstops are designed to keep the shutter from going into the housing. On the bottom slat, 3 inches from the track, make a mark in the middle of the slat. Drill that mark with your 1/4 inch metal bit. Place the back of the upstops into the bottom slat as shown here and screw them on. Next, drill and fasten the remaining holes in the track. Now, plug the holes with the track hole plugs provided by StormSmart. Your next step is to put on the front of the hood cover and put the universal into place. Once the universal is attached, your last step is to caulk and seal the box and track to the substrate it is attached to and to clean the unit appropriately. Roll the shutter up and